Hello everyone, welcome back. This is part 6 of Judiciary chapter from the book Indian Constitution at Work. In this part, we will cover from page number 138 till 144. So let's continue. Our first topic is judiciary and rights. We have already seen that judiciary is entrusted with the task of protecting rights of individuals. The Constitution provides two ways in which the Supreme Court can remedy the violation of rights. It includes judicial review. Beta, judicial review is the most important power of the Supreme Court in India. In this, it can restore fundamental rights by issuing writs of habeas corpus, mandamus, etc. under Article 32. Even the High Courts also have the power to issue such writs under Article 226. Secondly, the Supreme Court can declare the concerned law as unconstitutional and therefore non-operational under Article 13. So remember that in case a law is inconsistent with the distribution of powers, the court can declare it unconstitutional. Beta, this power extends to both central and state laws. While doing the chapter Rights in the Indian Constitution, we mentioned and learnt about right against exploitation. This right prohibited forced labor, trade in human flesh, and also prohibited employment of children in hazardous job. But the question is, how could those whose rights were violated approach the court? Yes, PIL and judicial activism made it possible for courts to consider these violations. And because of this, rights really become meaningful for the poor and disadvantaged section. After judiciary and rights, now we will learn the relations between the judiciary and the parliament in India. The Indian Constitution is based on the principle of limited separation of powers and checks and balances. Each organ of the government has been given clear area of functioning. Even then, there have been conflicts among the three organs of the government. The causes of controversies include: following issues were the main reasons for controversy between the parliament and the judiciary. It includes scope of right to private property, scope of Parliament's power to amend the Constitution, power of Parliament to make laws that abridge fundamental rights while enforcing directive principle. Subject of controversy include land reform laws, preventive detention, reservation in jobs, and many other things. In 1973, in Keshav Nanda Bharti case, yes, it is the same case which we had done in the previous chapter also, the conflict came to an end, the conflict between the parliament and the judiciary. In this case, the court gave the following decision. First, that there is a basic structure of the constitution. The basic structure cannot be violated by anyone, including the parliament. Second, right to property was not the part of basic structure and could be suitable abridged. And third, the court has the right to decide about various matters to be part of basic structure. Beta, the impact of Keshav Nanda Bharti's decision that it changed the nature of conflicts between parliament and the judiciary. Even right to property was taken away from the list of fundamental rights in 1979. So with this, your chapter Judiciary is over. I hope you have understood whatever we had done. For any problem, for any query, you can ask me in the online class. Even you can write it over here in the comment section. Thank you everyone. Please do this home task in your register.